I think the importance of what is in this capsule is almost unexplainable. We might even find early evidence of water that was forming in our solar system. So for about 4.5 billion-year-old water, we might even find evidence for building blocks of life. So it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah. Take us through how they managed to get these samples. It's been quite a long and arduous voyage.
It has been. So 6 years in the making, the spacecraft left the Earth, went on a multiple-year journey out to the asteroid named Bennu. Bennu is one of the biggest asteroids near our Earth system, and it's one of really, really great concern because it will pass quite close by us in the next couple hundred years. So once they reached this asteroid Bennu, they landed on the surface, sprayed a little bit of nitrogen to disturb the surface material, and captured that before flying back to Earth. So great feat of engineering.
Were they able to ensure that it wasn't contaminated in any way?
That's right. So contamination is a huge worry. So once it was at the asteroid and grabbed that sample, that should have been contamination free. It was locked away in a chamber that is meant to be completely sealed from any other types of exposure. The fear is when it landed on the Earth that if it didn't land quite as planned and the hull of the capsule could have been breached, then contamination could have happened. However, that looks like that hasn't happened quite yet, which is fantastic news, and it's currently in a clean lab as they analyze that sample. But it's something that they are trying to mitigate as much as possible.
You talked about how, Bennu could pass very close to Earth in quite a few years, of course, time, probably not in my lifetime at least.
Not in mine either.
How can what is being captured, what is being picked up, help us to potentially change that collision course?
So what is the most interesting thing, at least to me, from this mission so far, is when they touched down on Bennu and sprayed that nitrogen gas, a lot of material was disturbed, much more material than we were first expecting, which means that this asteroid, even though it is quite massive, it's loosely packed. And what we've learned from that is what we could potentially do, again, hundreds of years in the future, is actually break up this asteroid little by little into smaller pieces. So all of this information is very helpful in us not only understanding the asteroid and all of the scientific things it might have locked away, but also in how we might potentially in the future either move it or destroy it so it poses no risk to us.
Yeah, because importantly, as you pointed out, it could hold the keys to sort of so much more for us, so much more to learn from it.
Yeah, absolutely. So this asteroid is pretty pristine. We think it's probably as old as our solar system, so about 4.5 billion years old, which means that any material that is on it is that pristine leftover material. And we are still trying to understand exactly how did our Earth become the Earth that it is? How did life form? And what made Earth so special? And we think that asteroids and comets, similar to Bennu, might have provided some of those early stages. So it really is exciting.
Yeah. We spoke to you in gripping manner when India managed to get its moon lander. Unfortunately, that moon lander has now run into a bit of trouble after a very, very cold lunar night.
It has. So that was semi-expected, is that it landed in a region where it will go through lunar night. It will get very, very cold. And the hopes is that once it enters lunar day again, it will be able to come back online and start sending signals back. But even if it doesn't, that mission has done an incredible job. I am so in awe of that entire mission and the engineering that went into it for the budget that it had. So even if we've lost it, it has delivered as much science as we hoped.
Yeah. So we might have lost it. It's delivered a lot for us, but how long might we need to wait to see whether it does wake up again, whether we can get those signals back?
In the next couple of weeks, we should be able to know whether that is possible. So we'll be waiting with bated breath.
Okay, great to talk. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.